The news broke late last night, and social media erupted into chaos. Rasheeda's mother, the ever-graceful matriarch fans thought would stay above the drama, posted a heartfelt message congratulating Jasmine on her second baby. But the timing? Suspicious. The words? Loaded. "So happy for you and your growing family," she wrote, unaware, or so it seems, of the whispers circling around town. Because everyone is asking the same question, does she even know who the father really is? Emotions ran high as fans and insiders scrambled to piece together the puzzle, speculating wildly about Kirk's involvement. DMs flooded with messages, some supportive, some scandalous, and some downright shocking. The family was left divided, with loyalties questioned and secrets teetering on the edge of exposure. Sources close to the situation hint at private confrontations behind closed doors, arguments that were so intense neighbors reportedly heard yelling through the walls. And the timing of Rasheeda's mom's message only fuels the fire. Was it an innocent act of kindness, or a misstep that could ignite one of the biggest family scandals yet? Every post, every like, every comment seemed to hold a hidden message, a clue that fans were desperate to decode. As tensions simmered and online speculation reached a fever pitch, one thing became clear: nothing in this family is ever as simple as it seems. Tonight, we dive into the story that has everyone talking, the story that could change alliances forever, the story where love, betrayal, and secrets collide in ways no one saw coming. Get ready, because this is more than just baby news, it's a ticking time bomb in a family already known for drama. The tension in the house was palpable from the moment Rasheeda's mother sent her seemingly innocent congratulatory message to Jasmine. Fans flooded social media with screenshots, comments, and wild speculation, every single person wondering if she really knew the truth about the baby's paternity. Whispers had been circulating for weeks, hints dropped in subtle ways, glances exchanged in group settings, but nothing official had been confirmed. Yet, suddenly, this simple message acted like a match in a powder keg. Kirk, who had been trying to maintain a low profile, suddenly found himself at the center of a storm he couldn't ignore. His phone wouldn't stop buzzing, calls, texts, social media tags, and each notification seemed heavier than the last. He tried to focus on work, on meetings he had scheduled, but every glance at his screen reminded him of the growing public scrutiny. Meanwhile, Jasmine, unaware of the full reach of the drama, was busy with her newborn, blissfully navigating the challenges of early parenthood. But even she couldn't escape the ripple effect. Family members started choosing sides, old rivalries resurfacing, alliances forming and dissolving in the blink of an eye. It wasn't long before Rasheeda herself caught wind of the message. Her initial reaction was shock, quickly followed by anger. How could her mother send such a public display of affection to Jasmine, seemingly ignoring the tension that had been simmering for months? She confronted her mother privately, voice trembling but fierce, demanding to know if she even understood the implications. Rasheeda's mother, trying to remain composed, insisted that it was just a kind gesture, that she had no idea of the rumors swirling around the community. But Rasheeda wasn't convinced. She had spent years navigating complicated family dynamics, and she knew that even small actions could ignite massive conflicts. The argument escalated quickly, voices rising, emotions raw. Neighbors later reported hearing the shouting through thin walls, though details remained unclear. Meanwhile, fans online were dissecting every word of the original message, reading between the lines, interpreting emojis, punctuation, and even timing as evidence of hidden truths. The comment sections became arenas of debate, with some defending Rasheeda's mother, others accusing her of naivety, and a vocal faction suggesting she was complicit, fully aware of Kirk's possible involvement. In the midst of this, Kirk decided to reach out to Rasheeda directly, hoping to clarify things before the situation spiraled further. He called, but she didn't answer, choosing instead to send a scathing text outlining her frustrations and warning him to stay out of the public eye for now. The tension was compounded by mutual friends who felt caught in the middle. They texted in hushed tones, trying to gauge the best way to handle the rapidly spreading gossip. Some advised silence, others suggested confronting the truth head-on. Meanwhile, Jasmine began noticing the shift in the online atmosphere. Friends and fans sent screenshots of the heated exchanges, asking if she knew about the underlying drama. She felt a mixture of confusion and concern. Her family tried to shield her, but social media had other plans. As posts multiplied, rumors intensified. People speculated about secret meetings, undisclosed relationships, and the true identity of the baby's father. The narrative shifted with every day, some claiming innocence, others painting betrayal in the starkest colors. Amidst the chaos, Rasheeda started receiving messages from strangers and acquaintances alike, all expressing shock, curiosity, or judgment. Her inbox became a digital battlefield. She struggled to maintain composure while navigating the emotional toll of the public scrutiny. At the same time, Kirk's attempts to clarify only fueled more debate. Private messages leaked, fans interpreting tone and choice of words as hints or admissions. The more he tried to explain, the more tangled the web seemed to become. Inside the household, arguments continued behind closed doors. Rasheeda's mother insisted she meant no harm, that her message was purely celebratory, but Rasheeda refused to accept that simple explanation. The tension between mother and daughter became the talk of the town, with every friend and family member being pulled into the drama. Jasmine, caught in the crossfire, tried to respond diplomatically, but each word she typed online was scrutinized, misinterpreted, or twisted into fuel for gossip. Fans were shocked at the delicate balance of emotions, the private tensions made public, and the unpredictable nature of the unfolding story. As the days passed, alliances shifted unpredictably. Cousins, friends, and even distant acquaintances weighed in, creating factions that debated endlessly over who was right, who was naive, and who was secretly manipulating events. Every interaction, every comment, and every like was analyzed for hidden meaning. The family was left divided, each side asserting its own version of truth, while outsiders speculated on motives, relationships, and potential fallout. Amidst the chaos, a few insiders hinted at secret meetings, conversations behind closed doors where truths were laid bare and emotions ran unchecked. The possibility of confrontation loomed large, as fans and family members alike anticipated a public showdown that could expose secrets, loyalties, and betrayals in ways no one could predict. In the middle of it all, Kirk tried to navigate the pressure, maintaining appearances in public while privately attempting to manage the explosive tensions. He spoke to friends, sought advice, and tried to anticipate every move of those involved, but the unpredictability of emotions, rumors, and family history made it nearly impossible. The story spiraled as small incidents were magnified. A casual glance, an innocent comment, or a misunderstood emoji became fodder for speculation. Social media algorithms amplified every piece of content, ensuring that nothing remained private for long. As the week progressed, the narrative became increasingly complex, a web of truth, half-truths, and exaggerations. The public watched closely, captivated by the drama that seemed to blur the lines between reality and fiction. Every day brought a new revelation or rumor, keeping fans on edge. The tension was so thick that even mundane activities became charged with speculation. A trip to the store, a simple family dinner, a social media post, all were interpreted as signals, clues, or confirmations of underlying truths. Emotions ran high, and the family was left divided, unable to navigate the storm without risking further exposure or conflict. Insiders reported that private messages and conversations hinted at potential reconciliations, but these were fragile, easily disrupted by a misinterpreted comment or a new rumor. The pressure on everyone involved was immense, forcing them to confront long-buried tensions and unresolved grievances. As the narrative unfolded, the complexity of relationships became evident. Loyalties were tested, secrets threatened to surface, and the emotional stakes were higher than anyone could have anticipated. The combination of public scrutiny, private tension, and unpredictable reactions created a volatile environment, leaving everyone wondering how far the drama would escalate and what consequences would follow. The storm didn't subside as the days went on; if anything, it intensified. Rasheeda, still reeling from the impact of her mother's congratulatory message, found herself pulled deeper into a web of suspicion and accusation. She started noticing subtle changes in how people interacted with her. Friends hesitated to speak openly, family members whispered in corners, and even Kirk seemed more guarded than ever. The social media frenzy only added fuel to the fire. Screenshots of past conversations, alleged hints, and old posts resurfaced, each twisted to suggest new layers of intrigue. Fans were shocked, debating endlessly online, dissecting every action, every word, every expression for hidden meaning. Kirk, meanwhile, was caught in a balancing act. He tried to clarify publicly, posting neutral statements meant to calm the storm, but the backlash was immediate. Some accused him of deflection, others claimed he was secretly confirming the worst rumors. Emotions ran high as private lives were dragged into public spectacle, and the family was left divided in ways they hadn't anticipated. Jasmine, attempting to maintain a sense of normalcy, faced the challenge of protecting her newborn from the chaos. Every photo she posted, every smile shared online was scrutinized, misinterpreted, or sensationalized. Friends warned her to be careful, that any misstep could explode into full-blown scandal. At home, tensions escalated further. Rasheeda confronted her mother again, this time with friends present, voices raised and tempers flaring. The discussion, meant to clarify intentions, devolved into accusations, with Rasheeda questioning not only the message but also years of past choices and perceived betrayals. Her mother, flustered and defensive, insisted that her intentions were purely celebratory, that she had no idea the message would ignite such controversy. But Rasheeda was unconvinced. The argument ended without resolution, leaving a palpable tension in the air, a silent storm waiting to erupt at the next trigger. Meanwhile, outsiders seized the moment. Social media users, influencers, and self-proclaimed gossip experts poured over every detail, analyzing body language, timing of posts, and even hashtags for hidden meaning. Rumors of secret meetings, covert messages, and possible confrontations spread like wildfire, each new post escalating speculation. Kirk's attempts to manage the fallout privately were undermined by leaks, intentional or accidental. Friends, caught in the middle, tried to mediate, but their efforts often backfired, interpreted as siding with one party or manipulating the narrative. Jasmine, increasingly aware of the scrutiny, began receiving messages from strangers questioning her family, her choices, and even the paternity of her child. The stress was relentless, emotions high, and every interaction was charged with suspicion. The family's private dynamics, long complicated, became a public spectacle, dissected and debated endlessly online. Meanwhile, tension between Rasheeda and Kirk reached a boiling point. A leaked text exchange, intended to be private, circulated widely, fans dissecting every line for hints of betrayal or admission. The public frenzy only heightened the stakes, turning what might have been a private reconciliation into another layer of drama. Emotions ran high in every conversation, every meeting, every social media interaction. Family members who had tried to remain neutral were pulled into the conflict, forced to pick sides, navigate alliances, and respond to public scrutiny. Some distanced themselves, others engaged directly, but every move seemed to escalate the tension further. Inside the household, late-night conversations between Rasheeda and her mother became intense sessions of truth-seeking, accusations, and defensive explanations. Emotions ran high as old wounds reopened and past grievances resurfaced. The family, already divided, now faced the challenge of reconciling long-standing conflicts while under constant public observation. Meanwhile, Kirk attempted to manage his public image, carefully crafting posts, responding cautiously to questions, and attempting to avoid adding fuel to the fire. But every word was dissected, every post analyzed, and every silence interpreted as meaningful. The public spectacle grew more intense as fans debated who was right, who was naive, and who might be hiding deeper truths. Insiders hinted at possible confrontations behind closed doors, meetings meant to clarify, resolve, or expose secrets, but these were shrouded in secrecy, leaving outsiders speculating wildly. Social media became a battleground of opinions, claims, and counterclaims. Friends, family, and fans added layers of drama, each new post or comment altering perceptions, creating new theories, and intensifying emotions. The tension was relentless, a mix of private strain and public pressure, leaving every family member on edge. Even mundane activities became high-stakes events, every visit, every call, every interaction loaded with potential consequences. The combination of personal conflict, public scrutiny, and unpredictable reactions created a volatile environment, leaving everyone wondering how far the drama could escalate. As the days continued, alliances shifted unpredictably. Close friends offered support one moment, questioned motives the next. Every message, every encounter, every social media interaction became a test of loyalty, an opportunity for revelation, or a potential spark for further conflict. The pressure on all involved was immense, forcing them to navigate a labyrinth of relationships, secrets, and public perception. Meanwhile, fans remained captivated, glued to updates, analyses, and leaks. Emotions ran high, speculation soared, and every new development threatened to change the narrative entirely. The drama, once contained to private family dynamics, now played out on a public stage, blurring the lines between truth, rumor, and sensationalized storytelling. Tensions escalated further when a series of private conversations allegedly leaked online, interpreted in countless ways by fans. Some saw reconciliation, others saw deception, and the interpretations fueled ongoing arguments, further dividing the family. Jasmine, caught in the crossfire, tried to maintain grace and composure, but the relentless scrutiny made every move a potential headline. The family was left divided, navigating a storm of personal conflict and public pressure, unsure how to resolve disputes without further igniting controversy. Insiders reported that temporary truces were formed, only to dissolve with the next rumor, the next leak, or the next misunderstood post. Emotions ran high as the family confronted complex questions about loyalty, trust, and the potential consequences of their actions. The tension had reached a point where even private moments were scrutinized, analyzed, and sensationalized. Fans remained glued to every update, every comment, and every interaction, speculating on hidden truths, secret alliances, and potential confrontations. The family, caught between personal conflict and public scrutiny, faced a delicate balance, one misstep away from igniting the next chapter of drama. The situation escalated when Rasheeda's cousins and extended family members began weighing in, some siding with her, others defending her mother's intentions. Whispers of secret alliances, covert phone calls, and private confrontations spread like wildfire. Every interaction was analyzed, every word dissected for hidden meaning. Kirk, trying to maintain calm, found himself in a precarious position. Even his closest friends were unsure how to advise him, and the pressure of public scrutiny made every decision feel like walking on a tightrope. Meanwhile, Jasmine struggled to find a balance between protecting her newborn and managing the fallout from her family's exposure. The emotional toll was immense. Social media only magnified the tension. Hashtags trending with phrases like #babydrama, #Rasheeda vs Jasmine, and #Kirk in the mix kept fans glued to updates. Screenshots of past conversations, embellished rumors, and even innocent comments were repurposed as evidence of deeper intrigue. Emotions ran high as the story evolved daily, leaving everyone guessing what the next explosive revelation might be. Inside the household, Rasheeda and her mother continued their tense negotiations, each conversation teetering between reconciliation and outright conflict. Rasheeda demanded accountability, questioning why her mother would post such a public message without considering consequences. Her mother, defensive yet sincere, maintained that she only intended to celebrate a new life, unaware of the potential implications. The clash of intentions versus perceptions fueled further misunderstandings. Friends, caught in the middle, attempted to mediate but often inadvertently inflamed the situation. A casual comment taken out of context or a private message misinterpreted as confirmation of rumors could reignite the fire. Meanwhile, Kirk faced increasing pressure as the public speculated on his relationship with Jasmine and the true paternity of her child. Every interview, every social media post, every public appearance became a calculated risk. Missteps could lead to accusations, misunderstandings, or further scrutiny. The tension inside the family mirrored the frenzy outside. Siblings whispered in corners, friends offered unsolicited advice, and alliances formed and dissolved with alarming speed. The complexity of relationships, old grievances, and unresolved tensions created a volatile mix, with each new rumor threatening to tip the balance. Jasmine, attempting to navigate the chaos, found her personal space invaded by curiosity, judgment, and speculation. Even mundane activities became high-stakes events, as fans and acquaintances tried to decode every action for hidden meaning. Private moments, intended to provide respite, were scrutinized and sensationalized. The family's history of drama amplified the impact, making each development more charged, more unpredictable, and more emotionally intense. Fans speculated about secret meetings, confrontations, and potential confessions. Insider reports suggested that discussions behind closed doors had become increasingly tense, with voices raised and emotions raw. Every interaction carried the weight of past conflicts and potential future fallout. Meanwhile, Kirk attempted to mitigate damage, seeking advice from trusted friends and weighing each move carefully. Yet, leaks and misinterpretations continued to complicate matters, turning every attempt at clarity into a potential spark for further controversy. Social media remained a relentless force, amplifying drama, magnifying missteps, and creating new layers of speculation. Comments, shares, and reactions acted as both support and judgment, forcing the family to navigate not only personal conflicts but public perception. As the story unfolded, alliances shifted unpredictably. Former confidants questioned loyalties, friends offered guidance that sometimes backfired, and every new post became a potential trigger for escalation. Insiders hinted at private reconciliations, but these were delicate and fragile, easily disrupted by a new rumor or a misinterpreted comment. The pressure on all parties was immense, forcing them to confront unresolved tensions, long-standing grievances, and the unpredictable reactions of a highly engaged public. Every day brought new revelations, new rumors, and new interpretations of past events. The narrative evolved constantly, leaving no room for complacency. The family, caught in the intersection of personal emotion and public scrutiny, faced a relentless challenge: how to navigate truth, perception, and loyalty without igniting further drama. Even small actions, a glance, a comment, a social media like, were scrutinized, reinterpreted, and sensationalized. The web of conflict grew more intricate, with emotions running high and stakes escalating. Fans remained captivated, dissecting every post, every message, every interaction. Rumors of secret conversations, undisclosed meetings, and potential confrontations kept the story alive, the tension unrelenting. Inside the household, late-night discussions oscillated between attempts at calm and eruptions of anger. Rasheeda and her mother struggled to reconcile intentions with impact, navigating a delicate balance between explanation, accountability, and defense. Kirk, simultaneously managing his own emotions and public perception, faced relentless pressure, knowing that any misstep could be amplified, misinterpreted, or weaponized. The drama had become an ecosystem of speculation, emotion, and reaction, each new detail feeding into the next, leaving the family divided and the public captivated. As whispers continued to circulate, private alliances were formed, broken, and reformed, reflecting the fragile nature of trust and the weight of unresolved tension. Insiders reported that temporary truces often dissolved with the slightest provocation, leaving everyone on edge. The emotional stakes were higher than ever, as past grievances collided with present misunderstandings and future uncertainties. The story evolved daily, a living, breathing drama with unpredictable consequences. Fans watched eagerly, analyzing every development, predicting every move, and debating every action. The family, navigating both internal conflict and external pressure, faced a relentless challenge: to protect relationships, manage emotions, and maintain dignity in a situation where every action was under a microscope. The complexity of connections, secrets, and perceptions created an environment where stability was fleeting, and tensions could explode at any moment. The stakes were not only emotional but social, with reputations, relationships, and public perception hanging in the balance. Insiders hinted at further confrontations on the horizon, moments that could either resolve or intensify the already volatile situation. The family, divided yet interconnected, had to maneuver carefully, knowing that each choice carried weight beyond the private sphere. Fans remained captivated, invested, and vocal, their reactions adding fuel to a fire that seemed impossible to extinguish, a drama that had no clear resolution in sight. The intensity of the situation reached new heights when private conversations allegedly between Kirk and Jasmine began circulating online. Fans were shocked at the perceived tension in the messages, dissecting every word, every pause, and every emoji for hidden meaning. Speculation skyrocketed as interpretations ranged from casual misunderstanding to outright confirmation of the rumors about the baby's paternity. The family, already on edge, felt the pressure of the public gaze in every interaction. Rasheeda, refusing to stay silent, posted a series of cryptic statements on social media, hinting at betrayal, secrecy, and long-hidden truths. The comments section erupted instantly. Some defended her, calling her brave for speaking out, others accused her of fueling unnecessary drama. The family was left divided, and even distant relatives weighed in, sharing opinions that further complicated the emotional landscape. Meanwhile, Kirk attempted to navigate the chaos with careful restraint. Every public statement was calculated, every social media appearance measured, yet the more he tried to maintain neutrality, the more interpretations emerged. Fans suggested hidden meanings behind every action, fueling a frenzy that seemed impossible to control. Jasmine, feeling the mounting pressure, sought advice from close friends, trying to shield herself and her newborn from the storm. The reality of being under such intense public scrutiny became overwhelming. Even innocent activities, like grocery runs or casual outings, became fodder for gossip, with fans documenting and analyzing every movement. The family's internal conflicts spilled into group chats and private messages, which inevitably leaked online. Old grievances resurfaced, compounded by new accusations, creating a tangled web of emotion, distrust, and speculation. Tensions between Rasheeda and her mother intensified as they navigated their private conflict in the public eye. Every word spoken in private or posted online had the potential to escalate the drama further. Rasheeda demanded accountability for the message that started the firestorm, while her mother continued to insist on her original, innocent intentions. Friends and family who tried to mediate found themselves caught in crossfires, sometimes unintentionally adding fuel to the fire. The story took another twist when a friend of Jasmine posted a supportive comment online, praising her for her composure. Instead of calming things, it sparked fresh debate. Some saw it as confirmation that the baby was Kirk's, others claimed it was manipulation or strategic positioning. Emotions ran high, and the public became even more invested in every nuance, waiting for the next revelation. Insiders hinted at private meetings, where tense conversations took place to clarify misunderstandings and attempt reconciliation. However, these sessions were reportedly fraught with emotion, with accusations flying and loyalties questioned. The pressure of public scrutiny compounded the difficulty of resolving private matters. Kirk found himself pulled between maintaining his dignity, protecting his reputation, and attempting to navigate the family conflict without making things worse. Every message sent, every post liked, every silence interpreted as meaningful by fans, all contributing to a nearly unbearable tension. The social media environment amplified every minor detail, creating a living, breathing drama where private moments became public spectacle. Fans dissected body language, timing of posts, and even pauses in responses, attributing significance that often exceeded reality. The family's history of complex relationships made each development more combustible, as old wounds mingled with new accusations. Rasheeda, striving to assert herself, continued to post cryptic updates, keeping the public guessing. Every new post reignited speculation, forcing both Kirk and Jasmine to respond carefully, aware that any misstep could be turned into a headline. The story grew more intricate as friends and distant relatives offered opinions, further muddying the waters. Alliances were temporary and fragile, often dissolving at the first sign of disagreement or miscommunication. Insiders hinted that private discussions had begun to explore possible resolutions, but trust was fragile, and emotions were raw. Even simple gestures were scrutinized, misinterpreted, and sensationalized. Kirk's attempts to clarify were met with mixed reactions, some supportive, some skeptical, and others openly critical. The family, caught between private emotion and public perception, faced a constant challenge. Jasmine, meanwhile, sought to maintain calm and protect her family, but the relentless online attention made this increasingly difficult. Each day brought new speculation, new interpretations, and new twists that kept the public enthralled. The tension was unrelenting, and every action, every word, every post had consequences. Insiders suggested that the situation was at a tipping point, with the potential for either a major revelation or further escalation. Emotions were high, and trust was fragile, as every family member navigated a minefield of perception, loyalty, and rumor. The drama, once confined to private messages and subtle gestures, had exploded into a full-blown public spectacle. Fans remained captivated, analyzing every development, debating every move, and speculating on what might happen next. The family, divided yet intertwined, faced the monumental task of managing private emotions under the weight of public scrutiny. Every interaction carried the risk of misinterpretation, every statement could be amplified, and every rumor threatened to ignite new conflict. The complex web of relationships, secrets, and perceptions created an environment where stability was fragile, and tensions could flare at any moment. Insiders continued to report on potential confrontations and reconciliations, each one shrouded in uncertainty and heightened emotion. The public, glued to every detail, remained invested, eager for the next twist in the saga that blurred the line between private reality and public spectacle. The pressure was immense, and the stakes were higher than ever, leaving everyone involved on edge and unsure of what the next day would bring. The mounting pressure finally reached a boiling point when a private family gathering turned into an explosive confrontation. Rasheeda, Kirk, Jasmine, and even Rasheeda's mother were all present, and the tension in the room was so thick it could be cut with a knife. Emotions ran high as past grievances collided with present suspicions. Rasheeda's voice shook with a mixture of anger and hurt as she directly questioned her mother about the congratulatory message. "Do you even know what you've done? Do you understand what you're implying?" she demanded, eyes blazing. Her mother, visibly uncomfortable but trying to remain composed, responded, "I just wanted to celebrate a new life. That's all. I didn't think," but she was interrupted by Rasheeda, who accused her of naivety, or worse, complicity. Kirk stood nearby, trying to remain neutral, but every look he gave, every slight nod, seemed to carry weight. Fans online instantly speculated that these gestures were confirmations, leaks of unspoken truths. Jasmine, caught in the middle, attempted to mediate, her voice soft but firm. "Let's just talk calmly, we're all family here," she urged, but her plea barely made a dent in the tension. The argument escalated further when cousins and friends joined in, either taking sides or attempting to calm the situation, but each voice added fuel rather than water. Emotions ran high as accusations were thrown, loyalties questioned, and years of unspoken grievances surfaced. At one point, Rasheeda accused Kirk of manipulation, suggesting he had influenced her mother's post to protect his image. Kirk's expression hardened, but he remained silent, knowing that any verbal response could be twisted online. The conversation turned from accusations to revelations, as private details were aired in ways no one expected. Fans monitoring social media live feeds interpreted every pause, every glance, every sigh as confirmation of scandal, and the story spread like wildfire. Meanwhile, Jasmine tried to maintain a sense of normalcy for her newborn, but even the smallest gestures were scrutinized. A smile captured in a candid photo was dissected for hidden meaning, a comment on a friend's post became evidence of secret alliances. The household was caught between private chaos and public spectacle. Private messages leaked, taken out of context, fueling speculation. Every action had the potential to escalate the drama further, and trust among family members was at an all-time low. Insiders hinted at whispered conversations, secret meetings, and tense negotiations happening behind closed doors, each one a potential turning point. The dynamics were shifting constantly. Temporary truces formed, only to collapse with the next rumor or misinterpreted post. Every family member had to weigh their words and actions carefully, knowing the public eye was unrelenting. The situation reached a surreal level when friends and extended family members began sharing their opinions publicly, some siding with Rasheeda, others defending her mother, and still others speculating about Kirk's role. The narrative became a tangled web of emotion, rumor, and speculation. Fans were captivated, glued to every update, analyzing body language, tone, and timing for hidden meaning. Even mundane activities were scrutinized, from casual conversations to social media likes. The family found themselves constantly navigating between personal emotions and public perception. Tensions flared again when a leaked group chat suggested that a confrontation between Rasheeda and Kirk had occurred earlier in the week. Messages hinted at harsh words exchanged, accusations made, and feelings hurt. Fans immediately interpreted this as confirmation of the worst rumors, and the speculation reached fever pitch. Jasmine, trying to maintain peace, faced a barrage of messages asking for clarification. Every response was analyzed, dissected, and used as fodder for further rumor. Insiders reported that the family had attempted to meet privately to resolve differences, but emotions ran so high that any progress was tentative at best. Every conversation had the potential to reignite conflict, and trust was fragile. Meanwhile, Kirk tried to control the narrative by limiting public statements, but even silence was interpreted as confirmation of guilt by some. The situation was compounded by social media, where speculation spread faster than facts, and where every action or comment could be amplified into controversy. The family's history of complicated relationships added layers of context, making every statement or gesture potentially explosive. The dynamic between Rasheeda and her mother remained tense, with unresolved feelings of betrayal, misunderstanding, and hurt lingering in every interaction. Temporary truces were fragile, often undone by a single misunderstood comment or a new rumor. The household became a pressure cooker, with every word and action carrying enormous weight. Fans remained invested, following every development, analyzing every post, and debating every action. Speculation was rampant, alliances shifted unpredictably, and the family was left navigating a minefield of emotion, perception, and rumor. The pressure on every individual involved was immense, and the stakes higher than ever. Insiders hinted at future confrontations, moments that could either resolve or further inflame the drama. As private matters collided with public scrutiny, emotions reached a tipping point. Trust, fragile as it was, hung by a thread, and every interaction risked igniting a new chapter of drama. The tension in the household mirrored the frenzy online, creating an unrelenting cycle of speculation, reaction, and escalation. Fans were captivated, drawn in by the unpredictable twists, the complex web of relationships, and the raw emotion on display. The family, navigating both personal conflict and public perception, faced one of the most challenging periods in recent memory, unsure how the next day, the next post, or the next confrontation might unfold. The story, alive and evolving, continued to blur the line between private reality and public spectacle, leaving everyone on edge and the public desperate for the next revelation. The following days brought no relief; if anything, the storm grew stronger. Private tensions spilled into public interactions as family members struggled to navigate the ever-intensifying scrutiny. Rasheeda, still frustrated by her mother's message, became more vocal online, posting subtle hints that something was amiss. Fans quickly picked up on her tone, debating furiously whether she was accusing someone directly or simply venting frustration. Kirk, meanwhile, tried to maintain a careful balance, responding cautiously to questions while avoiding statements that could be misinterpreted. Every post, every comment, every like was examined by the public as evidence of hidden motives, secret alliances, or unspoken truths. Jasmine, increasingly aware of the storm surrounding her, attempted to maintain a calm presence, focusing on her newborn while friends and family urged her to be cautious online. Private messages continued to leak, fueling speculation and drama. Casual conversations, taken out of context, were interpreted as confirmations of scandal, sending fans into a frenzy. The emotional toll on everyone involved was immense. Rasheeda and Kirk had tense phone calls, their voices strained as they attempted to navigate accusations, clarifications, and their own feelings. Emotions ran high, and even the slightest miscommunication could trigger further conflict. Meanwhile, Rasheeda's mother tried to mediate, but her efforts often backfired, misinterpreted as taking sides or manipulating the narrative. Social media became a battlefield of speculation, opinion, and rumor. Every reaction, every share, every comment added layers to an already complex situation. Insiders reported that private conversations became increasingly fraught, with long-standing grievances resurfacing alongside new suspicions. Even allies found themselves second-guessing intentions, as trust within the family eroded under the weight of public attention. The drama was compounded by leaked messages suggesting that other friends and distant relatives had begun weighing in publicly, each contribution altering perceptions, creating new factions, and escalating tension. Emotions ran high as old wounds collided with present misunderstandings. The family's private struggles had become a spectacle for fans, who dissected every detail, analyzed every gesture, and predicted every move. The intensity increased when a series of posts implied secret meetings, confrontations, and revelations. Fans speculated about the timing, tone, and content of these interactions, amplifying the suspense and drawing the story further into public obsession. Inside the household, tensions remained elevated. Late-night conversations were often interrupted by heated exchanges, with accusations, defensive explanations, and raw emotion dominating every discussion. Rasheeda challenged her mother's intentions, Kirk's decisions, and the broader implications of the message, while her mother tried to clarify, maintain peace, and protect her family from further scandal. The delicate balance of relationships was under constant threat, as each misstep risked reigniting conflict. Kirk, aware of the scrutiny, carefully monitored social media, weighing every action and statement. His attempts at neutrality were often twisted into confirmation of rumors, fueling more speculation and drama. The complexity of the family's dynamics, combined with the relentless attention of fans and outsiders, created an almost impossible environment to navigate. Every gesture, every comment, every interaction was magnified, interpreted, and sensationalized. The stakes were higher than ever. Fans debated alliances, predicted confrontations, and speculated about the true nature of relationships, feeding the cycle of tension and speculation. Insiders reported that attempts at reconciliation were ongoing but fragile, easily disrupted by new rumors, misinterpretations, or resurfacing grievances. Trust, already tenuous, was tested daily, as the family struggled to maintain cohesion amidst relentless public scrutiny. The situation escalated further when a private video snippet surfaced online, showing a tense exchange between Rasheeda and Kirk. Fans dissected every word, every pause, every expression, interpreting it as confirmation of hidden truths or deceit. The ripple effect was immediate, with posts, comments, and reactions spreading like wildfire. Jasmine, caught in the middle, tried to maintain composure, but the unrelenting attention made even simple actions a source of speculation. Friends and distant relatives became involved, offering advice, commentary, or criticism, adding complexity and fuel to the ongoing drama. The emotional stakes were intense. Each family member had to navigate personal feelings, relationships, and public perception simultaneously, aware that any misstep could escalate the situation. Even mundane interactions, calls, texts, or casual visits, were fraught with potential consequences. The narrative continued to evolve daily, with each new detail creating further twists, shifting alliances, and heightening suspense. The family remained divided, emotions raw, and trust fragile. Insiders hinted at potential confrontations on the horizon, moments that could either resolve tensions or ignite new conflicts. Fans were captivated, monitoring every development, predicting every move, and debating every action. The balance between private conflict and public scrutiny created a relentless pressure, leaving everyone involved on edge. The drama, alive and constantly shifting, blurred the lines between reality and speculation, keeping the public invested in the family constantly navigating high-stakes emotional terrain. The story seemed unending, a continuous cycle of revelation, interpretation, and escalation, with no clear resolution in sight. Every interaction, every word, every social media post had the potential to become the next chapter in a saga that had captured widespread attention, leaving both the family and fans anticipating the next explosive twist. As the dust settled, though only slightly, the family remained divided, emotions still raw, and the public hungry for answers. Rasheeda continued to process the tension between her mother's intentions and the implications of that fateful congratulatory message, while Kirk navigated the fine line between defending himself and avoiding further speculation. Jasmine, focusing on her newborn, tried to maintain peace, but the scrutiny was relentless, with fans dissecting every gesture, every comment, and every interaction for hidden meaning. The story had taken twists none could have predicted, revealing alliances, misunderstandings, and raw emotions that had long simmered beneath the surface. Social media remained ablaze, fans debating who was right, who was wrong, and what the truth really was behind the headlines. As whispers of private confrontations, leaked messages, and secret conversations continued to circulate, one thing became clear: this family's drama was far from over. The delicate web of trust, loyalty, and perception was fragile, and even small actions could spark a new wave of conflict. Every day brought the potential for revelations that could shift the narrative entirely, leaving fans riveted and the family on edge. Now it's your turn. What do you think really happened? Was Rasheeda's mother completely unaware, or is there more to the story than meets the eye? Do you believe Kirk's role has been misrepresented, or is he hiding something? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, join the conversation, and make sure to hit like and subscribe to stay updated on every shocking twist. The drama is unfolding, and you won't want to miss a single moment. Stay tuned, because in this family, secrets, loyalties, and emotions collide in ways that continue to shock everyone watching. Your voice matters, tell us what you think, and keep following for the next explosive chapter.